Can you believe a Buick once left Ferraris and Lamborghinis in the dust? Meet the Buick Grand National, a sleeper muscle car from the 1980s that shattered expectations and redefined American performance. In just 5 years, it transformed Buick's image and became a legend. Let's dive into the story of this unexpected powerhouse and uncover why it left such a lasting mark in automotive history. What makes the Buick Grand National so special? It's a car that combines racing heritage, engineering marvels, and stylish design. Its evolution through the 1980s brought us impressive performance specs and power, culminating in the 1987 Grand National GNX. It was a muscle car that offered a thrilling driving experience and held a significant place in automotive history, all for the price of some less remarkable sports cars. Why did the Buick GNX fail? Despite its greatness, what led to its downfall? You might be wondering why we're praising it so much. Let's uncover the hidden story behind its downfall. First, let us be clear on the name. It's easy to mix up Buick's GNX with the Grand National, both based on the regal luxury car model. Plus, the GNX, the short form of the Grand National Experimental or Experiment, sounds similar to Grand National, but there are clear distinctions. Back then, Buick was making cars for older folks who loved big, luxurious rides with lots of chrome. But something changed. Buick decided to shake things up and created the Grand National, a sports car that left both national and international competitors wondering. The Buick Grand National, particularly the GNX, was born out of a partnership between Buick and McLaren. It was a celebration of the brand's success in the 1980s. While Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge were duking it out in the muscle car arena, Buick, known for its more sedate offerings, made a bold move. Curious to know more about what made the GNX so special and why it eventually failed? The story begins in the 50s and 1970s with NASCAR's Grand National Series. By the early 1980s, a Buick Regal won the championship thanks to driver Darrell Waltrip. Buick seized this moment to create a sportier version of the Regal, naming it the Grand National after buying the rights from NASCAR. Buick took a risk by using a turbocharged V6 engine instead of the traditional V8. This engine was the brainchild of Ken Baker, a young engineer who started working on it almost in secret in the early 1970s. After 2 years, he got the green light from his bosses to lead a team to develop this new engine. In 1976, they built a pace car for the Indianapolis 500 with this V6 turbo. Surprisingly, it outperformed many V8 in the race, which was unheard of at the time. This success changed Buick's image from making cars for older folks to something more exciting and modern. The first Grand National was more of a sporty package for the Regal, with a stripped-down look, dark paint, and the option for the turbo V6. Initially, Buick's regular customers, who loved their big low-power V8, weren't thrilled. But as they saw the performance, they warmed up to it. By 1984, the V6 turbo became standard on all Grand Nationals. These cars were only available in black and now had an intercooler and electronic fuel injection, making them even more powerful. The Grand National quickly gained a reputation as a formidable competitor, often beating Corvettes and Camaros in acceleration and quarter-mile time. In 1985, Buick's Grand National continued to impress, outshining rivals like the Oldsmobile 442 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS and Ford Mustang GT in quarter-mile times. By 1986, it became the fastest American production car of the year, leaving icons like the Corvette, Ferrari, and Lamborghini behind in acceleration tests. Buick had created a powerhouse that could rival the best, all at a more accessible price. In 1986, the GNX received a significant power boost, reaching 235 horsepower and 450 newton-meters of torque by 1987. It was even more powerful, with 245 horsepower and 480 newtons-meter of torque. Rumor has it that Buick might have understated these figures. Buick, being part of General Motors, shared the spotlight with other big names like Chevrolet. But with the GNX, Buick carved out its own niche in the muscle car world, surprising everyone and gaining a new, passionate customer base. This car redefined muscle cars and proved that you don't need a huge engine to go fast. What started as a simple branding exercise became a collector's dream. To put it into perspective, while Buick produced 20,193 Grand Nationals that year, only 547 GNX were ever made. This rarity is what makes the GNX so special and sought after by collectors, and each one was sent to ASC McLaren for upgrading. They managed to squeeze every last drop of horsepower out of it, even outgunning some of the muscly V8 of the time, like the one in the 1987 Chevrolet Camaro. With some awesome improvements meant only for the GNX, McLaren turned an already great car into something truly special. So, what did ASC McLaren do to the GNX? They added a GNX stamped turbo heat shield to protect the Garrett T3 turbocharger, which boosted it to 15 pounds per square inch. They put in front-end air vents to help cool the engine. They included a larger capacity intercooler for better heat transfer. They improved the suspension with a torque bar and a GNX-only rear differential cover. With ASC McLaren's specialist input, Buick's competitors, like Ford and Chevrolet, had no answer to the 1987 Grand National GNX, making it one of the most desirable cars of the year for gearheads. Having just one model year can be both a blessing and a curse. It could mean the car flopped, or maybe it was so good no changes were needed. Take the GNX, for instance, an experiment by Buick in 1987 with only 547 ever made. GNX stands for Grand National Experimental, and most people classify it as a hit. Yeah, you heard that right, this car was a standout. GNX pumped up the horsepower and muscle. Each car even got its own number plate on the dashboard. Inside, it kept things simple with Stewart Warner dials in white and black. And let's not forget, it only came in black, adding to its exclusivity. We all understand the fear of black without light. It's darkness, just like the color itself. Many think the GNX nailed it as one of the fastest muscle cars of its time. It thrived in the era of the horsepower wars, where automakers battled for dominance. Despite tough emissions rules, Buick managed to create something exceptional with a smaller engine. The GNX wasn't just a car, it was a testament to what could be achieved when pushing limits. Car and Driver tested the GNX achieving 0-60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds and a quarter mile in 13.5 seconds, making it the fastest American car of its time. Initially priced at $29,257, its rarity led dealers to mark it up significantly. Today, the GNX remains a coveted collector's item, commanding prices averaging $165,000 and sometimes exceeding $300,000. Its enduring appeal underscores Buick's legacy in producing iconic cars that define eras and retain their value remarkably well. For enthusiasts captivated by its legendary status and performance, owning one of the 547 GNX ever made is a testament to automotive excellence and a worthwhile investment in automotive history. This black sheep of General Motors ended its run with unmatched style and performance. You know what? I don't know about you, but I believe that the company working on this car didn't do as badly on it as many people think it did. Please feel free to share your comments in the comment box below. If you like this car design and its effort, please consider giving us a thumbs up. If you have been entertained by this video, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can be notified of our next journey of showcasing great cars, such as this in our future videos.